We are going to have a trash bash tonight, you guys. And the amazing Ranita Dement is going to share with you why it's time to trash that foundation. So I will stop this share and I will put it all on you, Ranita. There you go.
All right. Oh my gosh, look at all those people opened up. Hey, Olga. All right. So we have some guests on Facebook. Some are directors and some are not. So hello, Jennifer. Jennifer Conger is on and she's joining us on Facebook. So I want to say hi to her. She's assistant director. So tonight, so let's talk about what a trash bash is first. So a trash bash is when you decide that you're going to throw all that old stuff in the trash. But lucky for you, we allow you to throw it away and we give you credit towards your other product that you choose to purchase once we finish sharing with you. So it's sort of like spring cleaning, but we decided that we were going to move it up to February because February is all about sharing the love. And so we want to share the love with you about how to take care of your skin and to be sure that you are using the correct product. Ginger, don't forget to record. That's a reminder.
I got the message. Thank you.
Yes, because it had not been. So trash bash. Are you excited? I'm excited. I did a bunch of research today, so I'm like over the moon excited about this. And if you know me, then you know I like research and stuff. So let's get started. So when to toss your foundation. We are saving the nation with foundation. And so I want to help you be sure that you have everything you need so that you can keep yourself looking warm and keep your skin looking great and glowing throughout the season. So $1 million question. I always get this question every time I do a foundation matching is, does makeup expire? And so because we don't typically see an expiration date, if it doesn't have sunscreen, my answer to you is, yes, my friend, makeup does expire. The average lifespan for your foundation, can anybody guess? I'm gonna let you type it in the chat. There's people on here with me. Anyone know the average lifespan? We'll see who gets it right. I'm gonna tell you, it's 1 year. That means 1 year from the date of purchase, that foundation should be thrown in the trash because what tends to happen is most formulas, liquids, creams, and compact foundations last up to a year when they are out of direct sunlight. So do we always store them properly? Probably not, because I'm going to tell you something in a minute that I've been doing for years. But I always use my foundation up so it never gets to a year. But something that I've been doing for years, I learned today, that's probably not the best thing. And do we keep them away from heaters or different things that can cause the liquid to start to change or the particles to separate? So here's a rule of thumb. Once your liquid foundation starts to change, just toss it out. It's time to toss it out. So right now, if you're listening to me and you're in your bathroom or you know you got some foundation in your bathroom and you want to know if it's starting to change, just go in there and look at it and you can see the separation. Yeah, it's time. And just hold it there for a minute because we're going to show you how you can redeem that to get a discount on your new foundation. All right, so here are my tips because I only had a few minutes. Tips. To extend the life of your foundation, yes? Somebody got a question? All right, tip number 1. To extend the life of your foundation and prevent cross-contamination, always use a brush to apply your foundation. Now, in a few weeks, we're going to talk to you about those brushes, so come back, because I just told you to use a brush, but you got to remember what to do to keep the brushes clean. So I want you to come back so you can hear about that. Tip number 2, the older cosmetics get, the less they work. So the older your foundation gets, the less it works. And you'll say things like, it's not providing any coverage anymore. How come I can see my skin? How come it's wearing off in like 2 hours? How come? That's because it's old, okay? As the makeup gets older, the chemical in the makeup, or what we call the ingredients in the product, starts to break down and separate. In foundation specifically, this can cause the product to not lay evenly on your skin. The longevity of the application is not as effective. And the other thing is that the ingredients start to break down, therefore allowing bacteria to form in the cracks of that foundation. I know, right? And my friends, that could lead you to a whole nother set of problems that we're not going to talk about tonight, right? How do you know, tip number 3, how do you know when to throw it away? If your liquid foundation has thickened, like it was thicker than what it was when you purchased it, or if it's a powder foundation and it's starting to, or like a cream foundation and it's starting to crumble, you know, like when you get ready to use it, or if it's a powder foundation and when you get ready to take it out of the mineral, like when you use mineral powder out of the top, then that means that, and it's clunky, that means it's old. Or if it's changed colors, the color is off, that can happen too. That means it has expired. So like fruits and vegetables, I want you to think of your foundation like fruits and vegetables. Makeup, specifically foundation, goes through a chemical reaction called oxidation when it's exposed to the air. That's why sometimes, you know, you'll put on foundation, not with ours, but with some foundations you put on, and the longer you are out, the more you look like a different color. You know, I always used to tell people that there was one that I wore and I hated it, but it was the only thing I knew because I looked like Oompa Loompa by the end of the day. So that's just me though, maybe not your experience. So this reaction from the air though causes the color of your makeup, once it starts to separate and thicken and develop a rubbery aroma, it causes the bacteria to form. And that rubbery aroma is what is called, it's like a mold for foundation. And sometimes in a tube, we can't see it, but you squirt it out and you're like, ooh, that smells funny. That's because that's already set up in the tube. That means what, y'all? It's time to toss it out. Okay. Number 4, even unopened makeup can pose a health risk. Now, this was a new one for me because I do not know this. So I'll tell you, I learn as I go. I knew that it couldn't stay forever, but I never thought that it would start to already digress or break down, even if it's unopened. So most people like myself tend to associate unopened product with fresh product, especially foundation. But according to research, the breakdown process of foundation will happen more slowly, even if it hadn't been opened. But if it's old already, past the 1-year shelf life, and then you expose it to the air, the same expiration effects take place. It just takes place faster. It is possible for the preservatives to start breaking down even before you open it. So I'm not saying don't stock up. I'm just saying that if you stock up on foundation and it's been sitting around in your drawer for like 4 or 5 years, chances are, everybody, what should you do? You should toss it because it's probably not any good. So why throw it away? I pay good money for it. Repeated use of expired makeup, especially foundations, can cause an infection. For one, you increase the chance of bacteria growth, which is what I just told you, and in turn, breakouts and infections will emerge. And these things called our fingertips that collect everything, they typically make it go a little faster, especially with liquid foundation, because a lot of us don't use a brush. Well, not me, but a lot of people don't use a brush, and we use our hand, and that's just cross-contamination, whole nother story for another day. The other thing that starts to happen is, as I said, the bacteria forms. And here is where we sometimes don't think about makeup having not increasing, but causing the shelf life to speed up, is makeup stored in the bathroom. When we store our makeup in the bathroom, we create a risk that enables us to shorten, well, not enable, that causes our makeup life to shorten. Proper makeup storage is the key, okay? Although it may make sense to keep cosmetics in our bathroom, which is what I've done for years, storing products there may not be the best idea because the humidity, the steam from the showers breed mold, especially in products that are already older. And so if you keep it there, it's going to keep warming up, which means mold is going to keep growing, and then it's going to keep warming up, and it's going to keep growing. And then it causes our shelf life to be even shorter. So it's already a year, and now we're just making it shorter, shorter, and shorter. So some doctors or dermatologists suggest that if you're going to keep it in the bathroom, cut it down to 6 months, because that's going to cut your shelf life in half by just keeping your foundation in the bathroom all the time. Okay, so here's what I learned. Bottom line, when in doubt, throw it out. Oh, Ginger said I have 5. This is number 6. I promise I'll be done, y'all. When should I change my makeup? I guess I can't count. Even though I used to be a teacher. It goes without saying that finding the right foundation can be a journey for a lot of us. When you find the perfect foundation, we don't want to throw it away. We want to keep it because it's our specific skin type. We're scared we're going to break out. The bad news is that realistically, it can be majorly tricky to make sure your foundation works year round. Between summer tans and vitamin D shortages during the winter months, our skin tone can jump around depending on the season, which means the shade that we had in August may not be the shade that works in February, and then we want to save it to next August. No, y'all, that won't work. So what we have to do is we have to be sure that we have the perfect foundation match for our skin during those seasonal times. Of course, the most important thing is taking care of your skin, which is skincare, and wearing SPF year round, even if you don't believe you're going to be in the sun. And depending on, and this was a word that I got to pronounce right, the proclivity to sunlight and tanning, you might not have this issue. But if you do that a lot, then you probably want to, if you don't do that a lot to keep your skin even, then you probably are going to have a different foundation in the winter than you do in the summer. When you're looking for foundation in the winter as it relates to season changes, you want to make sure it's one that's moisturizing, one that's not causing you to dry out. So for some people, you can't wear a matte foundation in the winter because you already naturally have less vitamin D, you have less production of the sun, and so your skin is drying out just naturally. Hydration is the issue. It's not necessarily moisturization, but hydration. So that product may just not work during that season. So when you start to realize that your current foundation isn't lasting as long on your skin due to cold weather, or when there's a noticeable change in the weather, then you need to do what we all do, my friend, is contact your independent beauty consultant. And she or he will help you find the perfect foundation, the perfect shelf life for your foundation, the perfect foundations as relates to seasons, and also keep you abreast on all things you need for your skin type. So now, are you ready to let your foundation work and do the magic it's supposed to do and last you a long time without a breakout, without any infections, without all the drama I just told you about? If that's the case, then today is your lucky day. So if you have one foundation tube that you know you've had longer than a year, and I'm not going to shame you, then when you contact your beauty consultant and you do a foundation match with her, a color match, then she's going to give you 10% off the replacement. If you have 2 products, like you had one in the winter, one in the summer, or you like me, I like to put on liquid foundation, I like CC cream, I like the setting powders. So if you just have multiple, then 2, you're going to get 15% off of your order. If you have 3 or more products that you want to trade out, when you talk to your independent beauty consultant, you're going to get 20% off. And how about you just like, you know what, all this stuff is, I need a whole do-over. Then book a party with her, because then you can go on a 50% off shopping spree. Or if you like me and some of the other ladies on this call and you love to shop, whether it's makeup, clothes, whatever, then you can join us today for only $30, and you can shop for the rest of your life, having the perfect foundation always at 50% off. So that's it. I hope you guys learned something today, because I learned a lot researching this. And so if you have questions, type them in the chat. If you have something that you want us to answer specifically, type it in the chat. And be sure to tag your independent beauty consultant if you're with us on Facebook. And if you're here with us on Zoom, then you are the independent beauty consultant. Thank you. See you guys next week.